I started playing around with the splitter during the off season. I started going to Driveline in Scottsdale. They opened up a location, and I went there during COVID. And the guy I worked with, Chris, he came over to the one at Scottsdale. So I was really going over there just to get numbers as I started throwing bullpens after surgery, just to make sure everything, was on track. And he kind of presented the idea of a splitter, which I threw 5 of them in 2017, I believe, or 18.
Okay.
When I was playing with that, and then I just kind of stopped. And he was like, "Hey, this might be something that we can get going, and you might be able to use it." So we just kept playing around with it, and some days it looked really good. Some days it was like, "Hey, it needs some work," but it was definitely something that was worth attempting. So
yeah, not to get too inside baseball, but from a repertoire standpoint, what does a splitter represent for you? Like the ability to mix that with other pitches.
Yeah. Well, I don't really have a pitch that goes right. My heater goes a little bit, but I don't use it for that. So against lefties, I think it would, if I can get it consistent, I think it would really benefit throwing it against lefties. Having a pitch that goes away and everything else, my slider, everything else kind of goes to them. Then from there, it just is kind of like, hey, if it works, and let the batter tell us how it looks, then we could use it in other situations.
So, if I'm hearing you right, you said some days it looked good, some days not so good. So, what's your level of confidence in it at this point?
I think it's still kind of working out the kinks. Having it look good some days gives me the confidence of like, hey, this could be something. And then having it be off is also important, so I kind of have to really know how to throw it, really know what works. So kind of getting rid of all those kinks helps with the consistency of it, and that's kind of what we're looking for.
Is this your 5th pitch, 4th pitch?
4th pitch. Yeah.
So, the way last year ended, is it the right time to add a new pitch?
I don't know if there's ever a right time to add a new pitch. It's kind of one of those things where it's worst case scenario, I have it and I use it 10% of the time, or I think it can only help if I'm smart with when I use it. Kind of don't have an ego with it. But yeah, it actually doesn't put any pressure on the index finger, so it's kind of one of those things that might be a win-win. So we'll see.
Do you need to put less pressure on the index finger going forward, or is that completely healed with the surgery?
It's still kind of early, so it's developing the callus to withstand however many appearances I can get this year. So right now it's doing good. The bullpens, yesterday's bullpen felt really good. So it's just kind of not getting too ahead of myself with it and not turning it up too fast where it hasn't completely gotten that callus over there to kind of protect it.
And I know it was an issue last year on everything, but what strained it or stressed it out the most?
The heater, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that could go back to a little bit of mechanical stuff, getting pushy with the fastball instead of staying behind it, staying on top of it.
Go ahead, Gil.
Is there any other way to build the callus, or you just gotta throw it? Can't take sandpaper and rub your finger on it?
I've read so much stuff. I mean, this off season I tried to look into so many things, and a lot of it kind of led to dead ends of like you just got to let it naturally develop, which I've had every year the minor leagues, and I think maybe the COVID year kind of kicked it back, so it restarted it. So that may have had a little bit of impact on the.
Hey, there are a lot of talented arms here that don't have a ton of experience either. How do you view kind of what this bullpen can develop into and where it is right now?
Yeah, I think raw, you know what I mean? The age, the
Just
experience.
Like your finger.
Yeah. The experience in the bullpen is, I wouldn't say up there, but at the talent level I think is definitely up there. And then adding starters helps us especially in the aspect of like I'm throwing a splitter, now I have Evaldi to go pick his brain. He has a really good splitter. So just learning from the guys in the clubhouse that there's a lot of them that have done a lot of special things, so we can all kind of learn a lot of things.
What was your takeaway from closing? What is your takeaway from it?
It was a really good experience. It's obviously the goal, but I want to pitch in meaningful games and win a lot of games, and whether that's the 5th inning, the 6th inning, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever can give the team the best chance to win. I look forward to whatever the role is.
I think it was Woody who said it looked like nothing bothers you out there, but you can't see inside you. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think a lot of that just kind of comes down to like my faith. Just having confidence that whatever is to come is gonna benefit me and not hurt me, even if it's challenging, like the finger or a blown save, whatever it is. Just taking it as like a learning experience to get me better is kind of my mindset with it.